We are back. You are chatting with John P. Today we are going to be talking about the most common materials or metals used in watch case construction. But first, I'd like to thank you for liking and subscribing, hitting that thumbs up button. It really is appreciated and it really does help. If you're new to the channel, what we do is we talk about watches and vintage watches and associated stuff. And of course, do not forget to check out my website, delraywatch.com, where, full disclosure, I don't have this 16550 for sale on there, Explorer 2 vintage transitional reference. So I don't have that available there, so no one can leave that in the comments. But I do have so many other very cool watches and a little bit of a Father's Day sale. So if you're into that, you have a father and you want to get him a cool watch, or maybe a watch for yourself for Father's Day, check out the hot deals section, delraywatch.com. Let's roll right into these materials. The first material is carbon or carbon fiber. Now, Hublot is the biggest culprit of this. They're always using this material, I suspect, because their case sizes are so huge, people would not buy them even less than they do now if it was made out of stainless steel, because it would be so heavy. I mean, right, a 48 millimeter watch or something like that with stainless steel, it's going to be heavy, or even gold. So carbon fiber is very light. By the way, this whole list here is organized from lightest to heaviest. So the carbon fiber, very light. They're usually, these custom formulas where they mix in some other chemicals for better bonding, and it creates a very, very light watch case, and it gives you that cool look. It's very rugged, it's durable. Problem is, if you damage it, you have to send it back to the manufacturer. They have to either replace the case or the bezel. There's nothing you can really do. A lot of these have this uniform pattern. There's no way to polish it. There's no way to polish it, but just by the way that polishing works, by removing the top surface layer of the material. So there's no way to do that. You just have to send it back. So that's a consideration. It is rugged and durable, so you probably won't have a lot of problems with the case. But if you do, has to go back to Hublot, where they can give you a whole brand new case. Moving on to titanium now. In recent times, titanium has really skyrocketed. It looks a lot like stainless steel, but it's much lighter. So even with Zeniths, they re-released their Defy. That's made out of titanium. And then, of course, Omega's started to use titanium a lot. They use it in the past, but now it's becoming a little more popular. And it's cool because it allows them to make a thicker case and still be very light. So when people criticize larger cases, once again, it's so heavy, they can use it in titanium, and sure, the price is going to go up a little bit, but it's going to look like stainless a lot, and it's going to be a little bit stronger, a little bit tougher, and lighter, and that's cool, right? In the watch industry, why not have a tool watch that's stronger, lighter, and better, faster, smarter, right? So it looks like that. Unfortunately, once again, a lot like the carbon, it can become a little bit difficult using some brushes and tools on titanium just because of the way that the specific metal is. So you may have to send it back to the manufacturer, just depending, but some master watch case polishers and workers can do a pretty good job with titanium, but it's something to consider that just not any old guy off the street can polish this or brush it up or repair titanium. Moving on to the most popular metal is stainless steel. Now, you have steel and you have stainless steel. Stainless steel is supposed to be able to take a little bit better the factors of time, weathering, erosion, not supposed to corrode or have rust, so that's great for jewelry, right? It's very popular application in all kinds of things, from jewelry to silverware to forks, knives, cars. Stainless steel's everywhere, and rightfully so, right? It's relatively affordable compared to some of the other metals. It looks nice. It can be polished. Any polisher on the street can polish stainless steel. You get much more polishes left in a watch, not that I recommend it all the time, compared to a gold, because gold's very soft. We'll get into that in a minute. But stainless steel is hard, and it's affordable, and it's used a lot in tool watches, and that's why it's around. So moving on to bronze, before I make this into a big dissertation on stainless steel, we've got bronze. Now, we've got the Tudor bronze, and I think it's fair to say that in the last 5-6 years, bronze has become very popular, probably starting with the Panerai Bronzo. And the thing with current bronze is a lot of manufacturers like an Oris or even Tudor, which we have pictured here, they've started formulating the bronze so it doesn't age as quickly. The thing is, if it sits in the case at the store, or it's traded wholesale, or it sits in the back room somewhere, it's going to keep getting oxidized and turning into a darker color of that bronze brown, and that's not always favorable to everyone, though there is a subset of watch collectors that like that. And so you have something like Tudor that made a special formula with some type of, I think it's some chemical, some waxy chemical that allows that bronze to not be as flat as the others, but in addition to withstand that kind of green color that bronze can turn when exposed to a lot of the elements. So that's bronze. It's much heavier than stainless steel. You'll feel it if you pick up a Tudor Black Bay bronze and compare it to a Tudor Black Bay in stainless steel. The bronze is much heavier. Of course, it comes on a strap. It doesn't come on a bronze bracelet. That would be interesting, I think, to see. So that's something to consider, but mostly it gives you that rugged, durable steampunk look that you really can't get with any of the other metals, and it's still pretty strong. Very few guys are willing to work on case construction on bronze. It's really a metal that's designed to be banged up, beat up. It's a fun, cool, interesting fad in the watch industry right now, and I think it serves a very interesting place and purpose. I like bronze. I don't say that I would wear them. I'd wear them all the time because it's very steampunkish, which is cool. But we'll see what happens with bronze in the future and the whole craze. Moving on to the golds, we've got yellow gold, rose gold, and white gold. Now, gold is much softer than the other metals that we just mentioned. If you bang a gold watch into something, you hit it on a desk, it's going to leave a dent much easier than the others. And that could be a problem for something like a gold Submariner, though Rolex says, oh, our gold is so much harder, so much stronger. I don't know. Maybe it is. You know, how much stronger, how much harder is it? I don't know. I'd like to see studies on that. Some of the other brands say the same, but when you look at something like a rose gold Sky Dweller, it's a very heavy watch as well. You know, we are sorting this into lightest to heaviest. So the Sky Dweller is a very heavy watch, along with some of the other gold watches. Now, if you have a dress watch, there's a bit of a misconception sometimes. People say, oh, gold, it must be lighter because, you know, this gold watch is so much lighter than, you know, the stainless steel Submariner. Well, you know, if you have something like this Vacheron and it's a slim dress watch, it's going to be lighter than a stainless steel full bracelet watch. That's just how things work in the world. So that's something to consider, that the golds are certainly heavier. You can feel them when compared with stainless steel. Pretty much anyone can polish these watches, though you have to keep in mind that they have very few polishes in them before they start losing shape. Gold is very soft, so when you start taking brushes to it, you know, there's a wheel that spins, and they, you know, the case workers, they brush the watch up and down on these things. Sometimes they use hand tools. And gold is being removed. In fact, it's also common practice for jewelry stores. You know, we don't do that here. We always try to avoid polishing just because, you know, it seems to be a trend right now where people don't want their watches polished, which is cool. But jewelry stores that work a lot on rings and bracelets and, you know, brooches and necklaces and all the other stuff that, you know, pretty much ladies like to wear, jewelry and stuff, you know, when they polish these rings and necklaces and bracelets, a lot of gold actually comes off and it collects in these bin. And there's companies that will run around to all these jewelry stores, hand out business cards, and they will come out and vacuum these machines out, and they'll take all that scrap gold, and sometimes it's thousands and thousands of dollars. And so it's kind of interesting that, you know, some of these jewelry stores will charge for the polish on the gold watches, but then at the end of the day, they have thousands of dollars in gold. Not the end of the day. This oftentimes takes years and years. But it's something to consider that a lot of gold comes off. The case construction, if you wear your watches heavy, it will wear down and degrade. The golds, they also do age. Maybe not the modern Rolex gold, we'll see in the future. But the older golds, if they're left unpolished, they turn into almost like what bronze looks like fresh out of the case, a little bit darker of a hue, especially the older pink golds. I think that looks excellent. But as soon as you put a light polish, it's all gone. Something to consider when looking for an unpolished gold watch. Now, lastly, we have to talk about platinum. I think that platinum in the watch industry is a little bit of a scam, though scam has a lot of negative connotations. So I don't know exactly what I would call that, but scam is probably the best word. Platinum is now, 1 ounce of it is worth roughly half what gold is, right? I think gold is plateaued out around $1,300, a little bit higher. Platinum's somewhere around $700, maybe a little bit lower. Now, there was a time where platinum had skyrocketed, I think because of the way that it was used, not only in jewelry, but platinum was also used in cars, and now they've somehow managed to create these parts not using platinum, and so, you know, the story goes that platinum has kind of taken a bit of a tank there. but platinum watches are generally much more expensive. It's marketed as being rare and, ultra desirable. And so now you see platinum used almost exclusively in super high-end pieces, like very high-end A. Lange & Söhnes and, Journes and things like that. Platinum is used in high-end independent manufacturers because, you have the platinum premium and then you have the premium of having all those complications. So, if they had a solid platinum Datejust and a solid platinum Datejust and a solid gold Rolex, theoretically, the Datejust, if it was a current production model, would be a lot cheaper, but that's not the case because they kind of disguise it and masquerade it and mix it with other complications. So it's kind of interesting to consider, but platinum is so heavy. If you hold a white gold, which looks a lot like a platinum watch, and you hold a platinum watch, the platinum watch is so much heavier, it's unbelievable. It's something you really have to experience. So, go to an AD or boutique and try to find, comparable watches, ask them for a platinum watch. It's so heavy, it's unbelievable. It's hard to tell compared to a white gold watch, depending on the brushing, the shining, the polishing, but when you hold it, unbelievable. It's so heavy, and people like that. Generally, people buy this watch because they like that, or because it only comes in platinum, or because it comes with interesting complications, and the platinum adds a certain little buzz and pizzazz that the white gold or something else wouldn't, and so that's why platinum's out there, but it's not because of the price of metal, because the value is unfortunately not there on the charts. So, Anyway, guys, I just wanted to talk about these metals here. We get a lot of calls at Delray Watch. People say, can I get this metal? Should I get that metal? What are the considerations? So I want to put it all in a collected video here for you and share this with you, and I really do hope that it helps some of you or maybe steers you in a different direction that you thought you wouldn't go. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great week, or actually, weekend now. The week just flies by anymore. Anyway, thanks for watching. You have been chatting with John P. Ciao.